Hello everyone, my name is Swanee. Thank you for stopping by and checking out my channel. Now for today's video, I am very excited to bring you some tips and tricks for the new Illuminate faction in Helldivers 2. Now the Illuminate released last night. I've gotten very little sleep to bring you this video, but it's well worth it because the Illuminate are finally here and they are pretty difficult to deal with. These are some pretty scary enemies. So don't worry, I've got you covered. I've got a bunch of tips to help you guys out when facing them. So if this video helps you guys out at any point, consider giving it a thumbs up so it helps me out in the algorithm and lets me know you guys want to see more tips and tricks videos in the future. And with that said, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So let's go over the Illuminate enemy types first. So first up are the Voteless. Now the Voteless are the zombie type enemies. These are basically just the cannon fodder unit. They have no ranged attacks, but they attack with numbers and a lot of them. Trust me, you'll see more of these Voteless than you will Terminids, and that's saying something. So try to keep your distance with these guys or you can find yourself very quickly getting overrun. So up next are the Watchers. Now the Watchers are these little floating like robot looking things, and these guys will alert Illuminate ships to your position. So you should either try to avoid these enemy types or take them out as soon as possible so more units don't show up. And just be careful when going up against these guys though, because they have a very strong arc attack that can one-shot kill you. Up next are the Overseers. These are the big tanky type units for the Illuminate, and I like to think of them as something comparable to an elite from Halo. They have a giant melee weapon, and they can deploy a personal shield that can block your incoming attacks. So don't let these guys get up close and personal, because if they hit you, you're going to die in about 2 melee hits, because these guys hit very hard. Up next are the Elevated Overseers. These are just Overseers, but they have jetpacks, and these units like to use nothing but ranged attacks, and they like to spam you with a ton of grenades. These can be pretty deadly, so I like to prioritize these units over all others. The regular Overseers can be pretty scary, but they can't hurt me unless they get up close. These Elevated Overseers will just keep following you around with their jetpacks pretty much everywhere, and just keep up a constant rate of fire on you. So take these guys out first, and it'll make the fights a lot more manageable. And then lastly are the Harvesters. These are the giant walker super units for the Illuminate. They have a giant shield and they can't be damaged unless the shield is taken down. I've hit these things with everything from 500 kg bombs to rail cannon strikes, and they'll just straight up tank through it and not care. So you basically have to shoot out their shields first if you want to take them out. And you have to make sure you keep up the pressure, because if you take out their shields and then you ignore them, their shields will recharge and then you have to take out their shields again. Now you can also run inside their shields and shoot them from the inside, but this can be pretty dangerous because they have an arc attack that acts like a mini Tesla tower and it can do a ton of damage. So definitely be cautious if you're going to try this approach. Also watch out for their giant laser beams because they will one-shot kill you. So these guys are super scary and they hit very hard. In my opinion, I think they're way scarier than a Bile Titan, for example. Next up, I'm going to talk about the Illuminate ships. Now, the Illuminate will have ships scattered throughout the map, and these act as their version of the automaton factories or the Terminid bug holes. These will constantly spawn out units, and they are protected by shields. Now, to destroy these ships, you can either use something like a 500 kg bomb or a rail cannon strike, or I found that the giant orbital laser did the trick, or you can just keep shooting at the shields until they break, and then you can throw a grenade in the door to destroy them. I personally like to take out these ships with a quick eagle strafing run to take out the shields, then I'll shoot a grenade pistol into the doorway to make quick work of them. Just be careful though, some weapons do better than others at taking out the shields. I tried using the flamethrower on the shields and it did absolutely nothing. So I found that ballistic weapons tend to do the trick a little bit better than some of those energy weapons or something like the flamethrower. The Illuminate will also have giant cognitive disruptor towers on the map, and these will confuse your Helldiver if you're in the radius. These are similar to the radar jammers from the automatons, but this tower will just change the names of your stratagems, and sometimes will make the call-in arrows point in different directions. So you'll have to call in your stratagems based on the pictures alone when you're close to this tower. Now, to blow up these towers, you'll find multiple little energy nodes scattered throughout the area. These are normally attached to human generators or any type of electrical equipment because they are sucking the energy out of this equipment to power the tower. If you run around and blow up all these energy nodes, it will shut down the tower and return your stratagems to normal. Next up, I want to point out that arc weapons and the electrical conduit armor finally have their time to shine in Helldivers 2. The Illuminate will use a lot of arc damage with some of their attacks, and the conduit armor will negate a lot of the incoming damage. For example, the Flying Watchers have that charged up attack that can one-shot kill you if you're not wearing this armor, but if you use the conduit armor, you'll take this hit like a champ. Same goes for those giant harvesters. If you want to get up close to them and try to run into their shields and take them out from the inside, this conduit armor will keep you protected from their arc attack. The Illuminate also like to place down their version of Tesla towers around certain main objectives. These can be pretty difficult to destroy, and they will kill you pretty quickly if you're wearing regular armor. If you're wearing the conduit armor, however, they will let you survive multiple hits from these towers, so I highly recommend this armor set when you're facing the Illuminate, which is nice because this armor has always been pretty useless up until now. Next, I want to briefly go over the new vehicle really quick. With the new vehicle, you can fit a full squad of 4 inside of it, and if you're in the passenger seats, you can pop out and fire your weapons. Do be careful though, because the gunner of the vehicle can very easily accidentally kill you if you get in their way. Also, if your driver sucks and they keep bumping into everything and wrecking all the time, you can very easily fall out of the vehicle if you have a reckless driver. And then as for the gunner seat, the gunner comes with a mounted heavy machine gun. It has 4 rounds of ammo that you can reload, and you can change the rate of fire if you hold down the reload button. So just keep this in mind if you're ever in the gunner seat. So next up, I want to go over a couple of weapons that I found to be very useful when facing up against the Illuminate, and don't worry, I plan on making entire videos dedicated to this in the future, but with this latest update, they gave a massive buff to the armor passive Peak Physique, and this increases the melee damage bonus gained by Peak Physique by 100%. And this is pretty bonkers, because if you use something like the Constitution Rifle or the brand new Stun Lance that just released with today's warbond, this will drastically increase your melee damage, so this is really good at helping take out a lot of those voteless. When you're completely swarmed by a horde of zombie voteless, this increased melee damage will make very quick work of them. And then lastly, I want to point out that in a lot of my testing so far, I found that the Arc Thrower stratagem is god tier against the Illuminate. When you're using the Arc Thrower, it will completely stun lock all of the Illuminate enemy types. Yes, I said all of them. The Arc Thrower is so good, I was able to stun lock and kill the giant harvesters using nothing but the Arc Thrower. The Arc Thrower is also great at shutting down an entire horde of the voteless, and it can hold multiple of the overseers in place if you hit them with consecutive shots. So if you've been struggling against the Illuminate because, let's be honest, they're pretty strong, I highly recommend the Arc Thrower. So that is going to do it for all the tips in today's video. I have a ton of Illuminate videos that I'm working on, so if you're new here, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of those future videos. And if this video helped you out, consider hitting the thumbs up button and leaving a comment down below so that it helps me out in the algorithm. And thank you all so much for watching, and I will talk to you all in the next video.